My duty is to make you love mathematics. Welcome, and let's do this together. Remember, we're still discussing differentiation. Today's class, we are going to look at how to use the product rule and chain rule. Today is the second class. The link to the first class I will leave in the comment section. Now, look at what we're given to find dy dx. You will be like, what do I do? Now, I'm going to show you what to do. In this question, when you look at it, you will notice these are two functions multiplying each other. Okay? When you have a function, this is a function on its own and this. So when you have two functions, you notice the operation here is multiplication. Okay? So these are two functions that are multiplying each other. And when you have such functions, you remember your product rule. Okay, I'm going to also state the product rule once more. Now, when do you also use your chain rule? When you look at the second function, you will notice that it is two functions in one. So when you have two functions in one, how did I know? The inside is the first function and the outside, the one outside the bracket, is the second one. So in this function, it is two in one. So when I have such function, I remember my chain rule. So we're going to make use of the product rule and the chain rule in solving this question. Let's do this together. Remember in your product rule that if y is equal to uv, where u and v are functions of x, then we say that our dy dx is equal to v du dx plus u dv dx. Okay, this is what your product rule states. Now, obeying this rule, what do you need to do? The key rule to obey here is the product, because these are two functions multiplying each other of this form. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to identify our u. Remember, your u is the first function. So the first function here is what? 3x squared. That is the first function. Now, the second function here is our v, which is x cubed plus 1 to the power of half. I hope that is cleared. Now, having identified our two functions, let's go into differentiation proper. What we need to get is our du dx. Du dx is to differentiate u with respect to x. So if our u is 3x squared, our u is 3x squared, then our du dx is going to give us, always use your power rule. That is the principal rule of all these, okay? Of all the rules, you need your power rule. The link I will also leave in the comments. So in your power, remember that if you have y to be equal to x to the power of n, then your power rule says that dy dx is equal to, use this to multiply, you have nx, then take 1 from the power. When you do this, you are using power rule. So if you want to differentiate this, simply use your power rule, because this is just a term, okay? So use this 2 to multiply 3, and that will give you 6. Then return your x and take 1 from 2. It is 1, okay? So if you are differentiating 3x squared, you are going to have 6x to the power of 1. And your indices x to the power of 1 is simply 1. So in that is simply x. So we can easily take off our power. It still gives us the same thing as x. Now we have been able to get du dx. Let's now go for our dv dx. Remember, your v is x cubed plus 1 to the power of half. Like we said at the beginning, this function is two functions in one. The inside function and the outside function. Now, when you have this function, like we said, you obey your chain rule. And I'm going to show you the shortest way to do this using the chain rule, okay? And what is that shortest way? The shortest way says, differentiate which one? You are going to differentiate the outside, then multiply what you have with the differentiation of the inside. Let me show you what we mean by that. Now, My question is, which one is the inside function? The inside function is always the one inside the bracket. Okay, so the inside one is s cubed plus 1. That is the inside. I hope that is clear. Now let's go into getting our dv dx. So if you want to get your dv dx, you are going to now have, let's take care of the outside. The outside is the one outside the bracket, which is this one here with respect to the bracket. I hope you are getting it. So to do that, we still use our power rule. Use the power to multiply. We have half. Okay? Don't touch this inside. Return it. So we return it as s cubed plus 1. Then remember we use power to multiply. The next thing is to subtract 1 from it. So we take 1 from half. And when we take 1 from half, it gives you negative half. I hope that is clear. This we have done is differentiating the outside by using this power to multiply, keeping the inside constant, and then subtracting 1. For doing this, we have differentiated the outside. Then multiply it with what you are going to get in differentiating the inside. The inside is s cubed plus 1. We are still going to use our power rule to differentiate this inside. And to do that, if you use 3 to multiply, it is going to give us 3x. Then take 1 from here, that will give us 2. I hope that is clear. Now, when you differentiate 1, is a constant. It is equal to 0. So we're going to have plus 0 here. I hope that is clear. So this is the value you get for differentiating the inside function. I hope that is clear. Now let's bring this together so that we have our dv dx will now be equal to half into x cubed plus 1 to the power of half multiplied by 3x squared plus 0. We simply give us 3x squared. I hope that is clear. So this is now what we have for differentiating for getting our dv dx. Now let's put all these things together into this formula and we are good to go. Remember, if you are still new to this channel, don't forget to support this channel by subscribing to us. Give this tutorial a thumbs up. Let's know your thoughts about what we are doing in the comment section. Remember, you can share this tutorial with your friends. Now let's continue. So if we are to continue, we are going to plug this into what we have stated here. So I can easily take off this, and if we do that, we are going to have, if we are plugging it in, we can now quickly say that our dy dx is equal to your v. Remember we said this is our v and this is our u. So our v is this. So I'm going to have s cubed. Let's take it back. So we have dy dx is equal to x cubed plus 1 to the power of half. That is for our v. Okay. Du dx, go to where you differentiated. Du dx gave us 6x. You see, we are now doing substitution. Okay. Then plus u. What is our u? Our u is 3x squared. So I'm going to have 3x squared. What is our dv dx? Our dv dx give us all this. Okay, so let's plug it in now. If you do that, we are going to have, this is multiply. So let's use dot to represent multiplication. So we have half into x cubed plus 1 raised to power of half is multiplying 3x squared. Let's make it better. So we have this. I hope that is clear. Now at this point, what we are going to do now is to simplify. Okay, you are to simplify to the length. Just do as much as you can. Make sure you simplify very well. That is just what is left here. Okay, so let's do the simplification together. So to do that, we are going to now have this is equal to our dy dx is equal to, let's write this out so that it will make sense we have x plus 1 to the power of half is multiplying 6x plus 3x squared is multiplying half into, so we can take this part off, half into x cubed plus 1 to the power of half is multiplying 3x squared. Okay. So this is what you have. Now, when you look at this, how do you now simplify this? How do you simplify? Now, to simplify this, you notice you have two sides. You have two expressions. Look at this. You have this expression. I hope you can see this. You also have this expression. They are being separated with this operation, which is the addition sign. Okay, this expression and this are separated by this operation. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to look at what is common in this. The common here is s cubed plus 1, which and this. Okay, now if you are picking this bracket, you go for the one that is of lesser power. So you are going to factor the one that is of lesser power. So this one that is of lesser power, because negative half and half, this is of lesser than this. So we're going to pick the one of lesser power and factor it out. And if we do that, look at what we're going to get. So we're going to now have, this is going to give us, if you factor out the one of lesser power, which is this, we are going to have s cubed plus 1 to the power of negative half. We factored it out. I hope you are following. Now that you factored it out, use it to divide this. So in that case, look at what we have. X cubed plus 1 to the power of half, multiplying 6x. This is one side, okay? Then if you divide it by this value you factored out, look at what we have there. Now remember your rule of indices, which says that if you have x to the power of n divided by x raised to the power of n, it means x to the power of n minus n. You are subtracting the power. Okay, now supposing this one has a negative, it means it is going to be the inverse of it. So if it's negative, we are going to make this to be positive. I hope that is clear. Now let's obey that rule here. If we do that now, we are going to have, for this we are going to have, this is going to give us x cubed plus 1 to the power of half. This and this are of the same basis. Okay, so we are going to subtract. Now, because this has a negative, it's going to be positive half. Then multiply by 6x. I hope that is clear. Just pick one of the bases, like we said it here. Pick one of the bases, okay? And if you add this, it is going to give us half plus half is 1. So this means you have s cubed plus 1 to the power of 1. And anything to the power of 1 is that number. So you are free to take 1 off, then multiply by 6x. So you see the essence of going for the lesser power. So for factoring out and using it to divide this, which we have just done, we got x cubed plus 1 multiplying 6x. I hope that is clear. Now let's go for the second part. For the second part, this is what we have, and we are to divide it by this. So what we have there is 3x squared multiply half into x cubed plus 1 to the power of negative half multiply 3x squared is divided by this. Okay, so if you divide it, you will notice this and the powers are the same. So you can easily cancel it out and you'll be left with 3x squared is multiplying half and is multiplying 3x squared. I hope you can see that. So this is going to give us plus 3x squared multiply half multiply 3x squared. So at this point, what do? You now simplify again to have s cubed plus 1 to the power of negative half into, you can now have, we can use this to expand this, okay? Remember, when you have s cubed plus 1 like this, it means 6x into x cubed plus 1. So use this to distribute. And that will give us 6x times this is 6x to the fourth plus 6x times this is 6x. So if you expand this, we are going to have 6x power 4 plus 6x for expanding this. Okay? Then plus multiply this. We have 3x squared. This is multiplication over half. This is also multiplication. Okay? Over 1 over 1. Then multiply 3x squared, multiply 3x squared. You give us 9x, you add the powers, 9 to the power of 4, okay? 1 times 2 times, this will give us over 2. Did you see what we've gotten? So let's conclude to halve. This will give us s cubed plus 1 to the power of negative half into, we can factor out here to give us 6x into, if you divide, you have x cubed plus, divide this, you have 1, okay? Plus 9x to the fourth over 2. Now, to simplify, we also have, you can use these two to multiply this, and that will give us, we have x cubed plus 1 to the power of negative half into 2 multiplies this will give us 12x into x cubed plus 1, then plus 9x to the fourth. Everything is all over 2. I hope you've seen what we did there. Now let's conclude in our simplification now to half. If this power is negative, it means this value will go down. Okay, so we conclude to say that dy dx is equal to 12x into x cubed plus 1 plus 9x to the fourth all over. This we have to go down. So we have 2 brackets s cubed plus 1 raised to the power of half. If it goes down, the negative sign goes off. So this is what we have for differentiating the function. I hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more. Share this video and give this tutorial a thumbs up. Till next, bye-bye.